China's manufacturing is struggling as India and Mexico pick up supply chain slack. As you may know, China has been the dominant player in global manufacturing for decades, thanks to its low-cost labor, massive infrastructure, and huge domestic market. China accounts for about 28% of the world's manufacturing output, according to the World Bank. But in recent years, China has faced challenges that have eroded its competitive edge. These include rising labor costs, trade tensions with the US, environmental regulations, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Many Western companies are looking for alternatives to diversify their supply chains and reduce their dependence on China. This strategy is widely termed China Plus One, meaning that companies want to have at least one other country besides China as a manufacturing base. And one country that is making a strong case to be the plus one is India. India has several advantages that make it an attractive destination for manufacturing. First of all, it has a huge population of 1.4 billion people, which surpasses China's this year, according to the United Nations. This means that India has a large pool of potential workers and consumers. India also has a young and growing workforce, with a median age of 28 years, compared to China's 38 years. India's labor costs are lower than China's, with an average monthly wage of $176 in 2019, compared to $997 in China, according to Statista. Secondly, India has been improving its business environment and infrastructure under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. India has jumped 79 places in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business ranking since 2014, reaching 63rd place out of 190 countries in 2019. India has also invested heavily in building roads, railways, ports, airports, and power plants to support industrial development. India's electricity generation capacity increased by 50% between 2014 and 2020, according to the Ministry of Power. Thirdly, India has offered various incentives and policies to attract foreign investment and boost domestic manufacturing. One of the most prominent initiatives is the Make in India campaign, launched in 2014, which aims to increase the share of manufacturing in India's GDP from 16% to 25% by 2025. The campaign focuses on 25 sectors, such as automobiles, textiles, electronics, pharmaceuticals, and renewable energy. The government has also introduced schemes such as production-linked incentives, PLISH, which offer cash subsidies to manufacturers based on their output and sales. The PLISH cover sectors such as mobile phones, automobiles, medical devices, solar modules, and textiles. These efforts have paid off as India has seen a surge in foreign direct investment, FDI, and manufacturing output in recent years. According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, India received $64 billion of FDI inflows in 2020, up 13% from 2019, despite the global decline due to the pandemic. India also became the second largest producer of smartphones in the world in 2020, surpassing Vietnam and trailing only China. India produced about 225 million smartphones in 2020, up from 58 million in 2014. Some examples of global companies that have expanded or relocated their manufacturing operations to India include Samsung, Apple, Foxconn, Tesla, IKEA, H&M, Adidas, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Nestle, Unilever, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and General Electric. These companies are not only catering to the domestic market but also exporting their products to other countries. Of course, India still faces many challenges and limitations as a manufacturing hub. Some of these include bureaucratic red tape, corruption, poor quality control, lack of skilled workers, low productivity, high logistics costs, and political and social instability. India also lags behind China in terms of innovation, technology, and research and development. India ranks 48th out of 131 countries in the Global Innovation Index 2020, while China ranks 14th. Therefore, India still has a long way to go before it can match or surpass China as the world's factory floor. But it is certainly making significant progress and gaining momentum. India is emerging as a viable alternative for companies that want to diversify their supply chains and tap into a large and growing market.